who we are. But it comes a point like now. I'm done with this system. I'm done with the way they run this system. I'm done with the falsehood, the lies, the bullshit, the deceit, the treachery, the fake love, the fake hugs. I'm tired of all of that. So I don't want no more parts of it. I'm done participating in foolishness and ignorance. I'm done. So if you think that I'm just going to accept it because you said it, you're probably about 98% wrong. I'm not going to just accept it because you said it. And if you think I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do, then you come show me what you think I'm supposed to be doing. And that's how I say that for anybody listening. If somebody tell you you're not doing your part to a sin, you tell them to show you what the hell they think you ought to be doing if they think you're not doing it right. Because there is no blueprint for majority of us. The blueprints are all in the Catholic Church, and we have them. They written. Step-by-step instructions to a sin at any given day of the week. We have that. But Francis don't want to release it as that parasite in them been holding the documents hostage. But we don't need them. Because we didn't always have things written on paper. We got stuff written in our DNA. If we follow the DNA, if we follow the obstacle, what make us emotionally struggle, then we'll find the path. Because fear, pain, and misery are the tools of control. If you study, did the volume go down again? Facebook be doing that, so I just be sitting here in the same spot and the volume will go up and down on its own. Anyway, so if you study and you do your part, then the only person can tell you whether you're doing it correctly or incorrectly Can you hear me now, Don? Anybody can chime in if y'all can hear me. I don't know what's going on with this Facebook situation. They've been trying to stop me for a long time from delivering information. So it don't really matter. I'm still gonna put it out. Oh, okay. Okay, so here we go. The blueprint is on your DNA. So you're going to have these urges, feelings. You're going to be angry at stuff that don't make sense to you. That's because you're supposed to think through it. You're going to feel heartbroken about a relationship and the person you ain't seen in years. That's because you're supposed to think through it. Why am I feeling this way? What does this mean? How do I handle this experience? Yep. When you put all these things together in your mind while you're going through these erratic emotions, you start making the emotion make sense. When the emotion begin to make sense, this is where you at mentally. Raising it from here, you at the eye level. When the emotions start to make sense, emotions don't make sense. Emotions generally don't make sense. They're irrational. But when they start making sense, you've raised your mental and your emotional to a similar level. You know what I'm saying? You raise them to a similar level. Now the emotions and the mind working together. This is the ascension. When that harmony, that divine masculine, divine feminine within start playing off each other. Because the brain, right side of the brain is feminine, left side masculine. Right brain creative, left brain is organizing. So it's linear logic. Right brain is abstract, artistic. Left brain is linear mathematic. So when you can bring the two together, then the artistic abilities start to make sense to the mathematics, and the mathematics start to be beautiful to the artistic. So you start making the two come together. And then this is when the king and queen chamber start to communicate regularly. That's what they call the sacred union in your brain. Well, in the 3D world, ceremonial magic works the best and is strongest for this reason. It gives us a point of reference, and that's the hardest thing to get when you're doing a silent meditation is a point of reference, because you're in a free fall through upper ranks of dimensions. You're in a free fall up. And normally you fall down. That's how we got here when they blew that collider the last time and they made us come into this 3D realm and get stuck. But when we start to fall up and we're trying to orient to the chaos around us, because we're going through straight chaos as we going up. When we get to the top, now we can look over it and we can put the chaos in its correct order. This is what they call ascending to your God self, when you start to put the chaos in your mind in the correct order. All of these processes take place inside the self. You gotta conquer the irrational thought, right? The irrational thought comes from the emotions being expressed in mental imagery. Like, you got different learning styles. You have some people that learn through the feeling, they can feel it. Some people learn through the sound, they can hear it. Some people learn through the sight, and they can see it. And some people learn through the taste and smell, olfactory, and they can smell it, they can taste it. All these different sensations. Then you got some people that learn through all of them together. Omniscient, they can learn through any of it. When this takes place, you have to unite the mind stuff with the heart stuff. The creative and artistic with the intellectual and the mental. And when you do this, this is what causes all of those chakras to start spinning at a rapid rate. As they spin, it shoots the energy up to the next chakra. Most of us are blocked at the heart chakra by black goo. Now, I'm not going to deal with black goo because I dealt with it before. Y'all can look it up. The energy workers around the world is already telling y'all this black goo is a bad dude. It's hard to get out of the heart chakra. And it's a combination of science and what we call magic or sorcery. It's not just one. It's a combination of science and sorcery. They put them together to make them the most powerful force we could face. And it's been holding us back a long time. Yes. I like how you thinking, Kurt Henderson, because I'm gonna inbox you later, because we're gonna do some work together, because you bring up stuff that'll help a lot of people. Okay, so now when we looking in to the 3D world, we get stuck on the car, the house, the dog, and the mailman. Bullshit. Bullshit. That shit is passe. But they tell you not to be selfish. Now check this out. If you're trying to attain God status, they say you don't be selfish. But then as soon as you get God status, they say you God. All of it is about you. That's selfish. So that's a contradiction again. So you got to look for the contradictions, and then you got to find out, why are they there? Why is the contradiction there? Because the contradiction is there to get your attention. It ain't there haphazardly. It's there to get your attention. Why is it telling you God stuff this way, guys think like this, and you can't think like a mortal because a mortal think like this, and it's the same shit. You know, it's the same shit. Yeah, they've been putting in a lot of movies about the black goo. As a matter of fact, the most popular one is Venom from Spider-Man. Venom is a personified black goo creature. And they kind of work something like that, but they only talk through the heart chakra. Meaning that when you, like for instance, my curse was unrequited love. So I'm probably going to be single till I die. But I'm good with that. Because as soon as I tell somebody I love them, it's over with. The relationship done. No, I can't do nothing to hold on to it because that's the curse. And it is tied to the black goo. When the black goo was removed from me, one of my students took it out. The Green 8, Dariel, took the residual black goo out. And he was like, man, what is this? I was like, it's the black goo, man. I didn't even go into it with him at that point. But ever since then, things has been happening at an alarming rate. And opening my eyes to a lot of things. One of the things is the process of the judgment day. We all right, India. We got this under control, sweetie. So the judgment day, when the processes take place in the body and we start to move up in the ascension, we start to see what it means about judgment day. See, everybody think that judgment day means God gonna come up there like the judge in the courtroom, hammer the gavel and give you a sentence, and it don't work like that, or with the gods, or with the ascended masters, or none of that. That's not how judgment day works. Somebody had to call judgment day. The curses are different, Juanita, but your life path, when you step back and you don't look at your life that you was living, you look at it from a third person perspective. Watch how you lived your life, and everything time something was going good, you did or said something, and then it all went south. Within a couple of weeks, it all goes south real fast. Your curse is whatever it was you did is the manifestation of it. Soon as you, like for instance, some people are not allowed to have wealth. You can work and do good, but soon as you cross a certain dollar barrier, you lose everything you got. You lose everything you got and you can't control it. And this is why a lot of celebrities die poor. Because that's their curse. Some people curse to not be allowed to have wealth. They can have everything in the world, but they can't have money. They can't accumulate wealth. That was a part of mine too. Because I can get the money. That's not hard. Getting money is easy. So once you learn how to ascend to your God self internally, and you know that for some people, ceremonial rites is what they call it, ceremonial magic. Ceremonial rites can accelerate the ascension. And then you know that when you start feeling all this crazy stuff inside, watch the thought. Remember, the thought is the cause of it all. Watch the thought. Let's say, for instance, it's one of your kids who you love dearly, and something say, kill that motherfucker. That's not you. You have to confront that. That's not you telling you to kill your child. That's not you telling you to kill the person that you love that sleep next to you. That's not you. And most of us think because it happens inside our own head that it's our own thought. But we never realized that when we was growing up, we picked that shit up from every foul spirit being around us that was not right. You know? Yeah. Juanita, message me, inbox me on Messenger, and we'll get together and find out what you need. If one feels less of an emotion in the heart for someone, but has surpassed the feeling, is that part of ascension process? First of all, the love energy that radiate through the heart chakra, if it attaches to another person's heart chakra, ain't no breaking that shit. Y'all became soulmates whether you wanted to or not. And normally this is why people are supposed to get married in monogamous marriages, is because they found somebody that they can face the world with, and they don't have the worry of when I go to work, is a plumber in my house. They don't that don't even cross their mind, you know. But you want to make a connection with a person. I'm gonna tell y'all the biggest and most neglected. Just Jasmine, you can inbox me when you get it. The biggest connection that we make with another person is by seeing the best parts of that person and cultivating that in the other person. So when you look at relationships now, this is what we see. Guy meet a chick, he thinks she hot, she think he hot. Okay, now, at that point, that's pure animal lust. He don't know nothing about her, she don't know nothing about him, so there can be no compatibility other than the physical attraction. That's what you call animal lust. But the conversation takes off, and then they find out they have this many things in common. They make a connection. Where you lost it, Jacqueline? Anytime, Ashley, just inbox me when you're ready, and if I'm not doing nothing, I'll chat with you. Ascension is death for the ego, realizing real eyes all is one. Hey, I just went over that, because I was told by some of my enlightened brethren that I had to let go of the ego. Then I let go of the ego. You know what they told me? You God. Now you got to have an ego. Contradiction. Why is it there? Right? Now think about this. The gods run shit. And they have to feel like they supposed to run shit. They got to feel like they deserve the right to be in the position of power. They got to know it without a doubt. What's the difference in the fucking ego trip? What's the difference in the Messiah complex in an actualized God concept? And you can love someone without any benefit to yourself, that's ascension, but you can never lose the ego. Whew, y'all coming at me with this one. Y'all coming right and exact. Okay, so the ascension has nothing to do with outside of itself who you can love. The ascension has to do with how well your love can be purified with your purified thoughts. That is when you get to ascension. Because once you purify the thought, there's nothing low vibration left. That's why they call it purification. What's going on, Chris? Then the emotional purification. When you clear the emotions, when you clear that shit up, you clear the emotions up by not feeling negative emotions towards somebody you love, which took me into the relationship thing. Guys, girls meet. It's the attraction first, the chemistry next. But nobody knows what to do next, because what you're going to understand is we are creatures of habit. As creatures of habit, if you meet a new guy, if you're a girl, if you meet a new girl, if you're a guy, you're going to do all of the dumb shit you did to sabotage every relationship you ever had. When you go back and look at all of the dumb shit you did in your past relationships, you got to do it all at the beginning. Both of y'all, not just one of y'all, both of y'all going to do the same dumb shit, but it's not going to work. Because you're on another level now. So when all of that dumb shit don't work, all that foolishness not working now. Now you sitting here with this person and you exhausted all of the ignorance. Ignorance is exhausted at this point, and you looking at this person like, I still love them. I done did the dumb stuff, the ignorant stuff, the foolish stuff, the retarded stuff, the sick stuff, and they still here. They love me too. We got to make this work. Most people gone by now. And that's what when we got rid of the rites of passage, this is how our minds created one for us. In order for us to weed through the weak relationship to find a solid relationship, we learn a series of foolish and ignorant things that run weak people away. They run, if the relationship is beginning off as a weak relationship, what we learn going through relationships teaches us how to get rid of the riffraff. But then there's always one we can't get rid of. They're either still standing there physically, or when we physically leave, they attach to us emotionally and we can't break the attachment. Sometimes that's due to other outside factors like blood rights or agreements made that haven't been correctly severed, contracts, soul contracts like that. But sometimes there's no contract involved. It's just the truth. And that also is a perfect candidate for you to do a ceremonial ascension with another person. And people keep forgetting that we can do that. Women get bitchy. Why do women get bitchy in a relationship? They losing their power and the man is not doing anything to empower her as a woman. That's fine, Jacqueline. Inbox me. As long as a man don't do nothing to empower a female as a woman, a relationship is going to always be rocky. As long as he's chopping her knees off every time she tries. And the same with him. As long as she's bringing him down every time he's trying to move forward and upward, the relationship not going to last. It can't work. Right? So we get to a point in our ascension where we start to see the rules of Judgment Day. Now I'm going to go over young Pharaoh, who I love that brother to death. That brother, he one of the Grail Kings too. I don't even know if he's aware of it, but I think he is. You know what, Chris? I'm not gonna deal with the attachment in the Buddha right now. But we're gonna touch on that. So on another video we'll go over some of the teachings of the Buddha and Dalai Lamas of the past, and maybe even some of the other great teachers, and what they were really talking about. The attachment that the Buddha talk about is attachment to the negative vibrations, the low vibration things that you attach to, because you got to attach to something anyway. All right, so now we ready to ascend. We ready to move to the next level, but there's a problem. We still got to clean this mess up. You can't go to nobody's house, mess their kitchen up, and just leave. That's rude, dirty, obnoxious. That's just foul. So before we can ascend into the fifth dimension, we have to clean it up. What do I mean by that? We have to show the people a lot of the deception out in the open in real time. So last week I heard young Pharaoh and General Seti called Dr. York out to judgment. Now, it sounds like they offered a debate to Nuwabians. So if you're a Nuwabian or if you know one, y'all need to pay attention. Pharaoh produced a document. It was a herpes test. And this herpes test is what they call in court, they call it a statement of fact. It's a statement of fact because it's medical evidence that has to follow a chain of command in the court system. And following the chain of command, it is presented as a piece of evidence to support the allegations and why they're there. So Pharaoh produced the document, right? That's part one. Now, if the other two parts not met, he's not calling for a judgment day. Second part. The second part is the vexation of the grievance. Now, the vexation of the grievance is supposed to be rude, obnoxious. Who are you looking for? Oh, here you go. So, the vexation of the grievance. A classic example. A classic example of vexation of grievance is Tupac. Tupac done everything by the code of righteousness. That's crazy, because some of the stuff he was doing, you would think he was dead wrong. But the vexation of the grievances is the most critical part of the equation. So they went through a series of vexations of the Catholic Church being condemned for pedophilia, black people concealing in their families and in their communities the same shit that the Catholic Church doing. And before we can go deal with Francis and his pedophile priests, that we have to first clean our own communities up. That was the grievance vexed by young Pharaoh, followed by Seti putting the final call for judgment on Dr. York. And that being to say that they represent the ancestors. At that point, even if I'm a Nuwabian, I can't defend or condemn York. I have to listen to the facts. Because when the facts is presented, it's a couple things that has to take place. The public, the more I see if it's a valid or invalid judgment on York, the more I see it, the more powerful it be. So the judgment that's taking place with York is critical for his liberation if you're a Nuwabian. And I see you, Christ. So Seti said, this is real. I'm standing here for my ancestors. At that point, Judgment Day. The third prong of calling for judgment has been met. I don't care if the Nuwabians defend him or not. They should if they think he's innocent. And if he turns out we have to use the judicial